Okay. Go ahead and call to order the Loogootee City Council. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Here.
Mark Sack. Here. Doug Collins.
Here.
Mike Engelman.
Here.
Lauren Blakely.
Here.
Mayor Brian Yeager.
Here.
Attorney Stephen Peterball.
Present.
Director Door Territory Club.
We've had a chance to take a look at the minutes from last month's meeting. We entertain a motion. Second.
I'll make the motion the minutes are approved as presented.
Second. Carol, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Chance to take a look at the claims as presented.
Claims look good to me. I saw them before when she sent them out. Reviewed them.
I'll second.
Second by Karen, Bud. All in favor? Under old business, I think we had a first reading on the ordinance, on the one-way parking. We discussed that. One-way going North Line Street. We did actually, I think we talked about it.
I think we
Yeah.
did discuss it.
Yeah, we discussed it there. Turn that into a one-way on one side of East Main to Wood Street. The parking
Where's the one-way end?
there on Wood Street.
Wood. It's not gonna head north.
Well, we can discuss that.
You're not gaining anything if you make it a one-way up to Wood Street. Just more access to North Street from the other direction.
You want to go a little bit further, Mike?
No, I was thinking it would end at North Street.
Right.
The purpose of the one-way is to create angle parking for more parking. There's no parking available in the section from North to Wood, so why close it?
We got two parallel parking.
Yeah, that was my issue with it last time. I think what he's saying, I think what Mike's saying makes more sense. Personally.
To go all the way up to Wood Street?
Stop at North Street, there by the barber. Well, Healing Hands there. The corner there.
Can I say something about that? Can I say something about that?
Sure.
There's other businesses there, and I think if you go one way all the way to Wood Street instead of stop at North Street, you're gonna hurt some businesses that are already established there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Edward Jones, the tech company, even Big John's, because a lot of people go that way, that are coming in this direction. they're already established businesses that use that.
I'm okay with stopping at North Street too.
And that's what you had talked to me about, right, Ernie? Okay. You okay, Joe?
It's gonna solve a lot of your issues that you were concerned with on Wood Street.
Yeah.
So we need to develop an ordinance in, or amend the ordinance, or it just stops at North Street.
I'm good with that.
So Mike, can you make that motion?
Yes.
A second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Pay application for Country Court 5.
Thought we was done with these.
No, there was retainage on it. Still gotta do retainage after tonight's meeting. Looks like, the pay app this time is $89.87.88, $8,987.88, with retainage still of $7,988.80. There's a couple things, one thing's gotta be done up there still. So, it's like $16,000 or something that was held back, and get about half of it. So I need to get a motion to approve this.
Somebody's already there.
Yes. We've been paid a little more money. You want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion for Dave,
Second.
second by Carol, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Okay. Got a, master service agreement for professional services from former Midwest Engineers, it's now CHA. And spoke with them, actually got an email today. Basically what it's saying is instead of coming up with a service agreement each time and rewriting the whole thing, we just do one, it's not to exceed so much. Go ahead and let them do stuff. If we need to get something done, you know, and
It'll kind of take care of all the upfront general contractual, items, so you're not doing each time. Actually, issue through a notice to proceed, so and then however much the project's gonna cost, on an as-needed basis. It's not an actual contract, specific projects, the MSA with this saying, hey, like the mayor said, don't issue a full-blown contract for each, scope, if you will, I guess.
It's like a catch-all.
Well, it'd be like,
This is an estimate, right?
well, it would be an agreement of the city and the CHA.
How does it stack up to what we've done in the past with Midwest?
Well, like I said, it would just be kind of a,
we always have to do an individual contractual thing before we've got to sign off. This basically is just putting it in one bundle, but nothing gets done, or there's nothing, no money gets spent, anything like that per se, until there's a notice to proceed on the actual, when we find out what the project and everything is.
I mean, I think it sounds all right, but I would like for our attorney to look it over before we, agree to something.
So I was gonna make that recommendation too, so.
Yeah, I would just make the recommendation, the attorney look it over and then present it to us, and he's okay with it,
Yeah.
then.
Could I get you to, say if he looks over and it's okay, we go ahead and do it, because we got some things in the line that we're gonna have to be looking at, like with our lift stations and stuff like that, which we know has to get done, so I mean, that's the reason we're looking at this, because we know we got some things coming up really, really quick.
It'll still be the bid process, go through the board of works and then us to approve.
because on the money side of it.
okay to do that? He's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds feasible.
He's okay with it.
So we'll make that motion. I'm gonna pass this on to you, sir. You like to read stuff like that?
I'll make that motion. Yeah.
Okay. A motion by Dave,
One second. Go ahead, Bud.
second by Buck, all in favor?
Aye.
Need to bring forward the, order works, approve that change order for the, stenciling, the additional, artwork on the water tower, $13,600 to put the additional 2 L's up there and another Loogootee up there. It goes all the way around, and, get the council to approve that.
Whatever contingency funds for stuff like that.
Yes, we actually had a $7,000 credit, and, nice. 4,500 of that has already been used as on the credit back, so there's 2,500. Actually, $2,400 back, and so out of the 15,000, so I put it at 13,600, and we had $60,000 in there for contingency fees, and if something else came up. So yeah, everything's covered. It's not taking any extra money out. It's still anything. So.
Need a motion for that, or?
Change order, like, for the funds and stuff, just,
I'll make the motion.
motion by Mike.
I'll second.
Second by Buck, all in favor?
Aye.
I think that's all we have.
And I think you had mentioned maybe take some of that money that on the turnout gear out of lit, that fire department.
Yes.
I think we can maybe take a look at that, taking some of the funds out so it doesn't crunch his budget too much. Might see what Perry Township's willing to do, and then we can, go from there with the lit funds to help them out. So you guys okay with that?
Makes sense.
That's why I brought that up. I hate to see him use King Cap right now when we've
Yeah.
got funds in other places,
Yeah.
The King Cap's used for a lot of other different things. So,
And I
Give you a
think-
little more flexibility.
And I think too, Board of Works mentioned work up in Mr. Musing's place, that area. I'm like Dean, I don't think the other company's gonna cut their quote or,
on the SCADA.
on the SCADA stuff rather, I'm sorry, the other thing, yeah. I think we'll move forward on that as quick as possible.
You guys are okay with that? You want to put that in the motion?
Is that your motion?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we want to do it as quickly and.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
Cost effective as possible, so, unless they're willing to match it, which I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And Daniel seemed to be
Well,
fine
it's,
with it.
and, it's gonna be a huge expense, but we're getting it right now. We're not going after the BMW or the Rolls Royce. We're kind of looking at the Pacer model just to get to where we need to get started. And we're gonna have to be building on to as time goes, because it's something that's we do need with everything going on. Bo, you can, or Daniel can interject a little more on this.
I was thinking that with the Lesslers, it did not include the lift stations, the
Correct.
communications with lift stations.
Correct.
This new quote does include communications transfer to the sewer, which will improve communications for the water department,
Yeah.
SCADA system.
Because our lift stations are currently on the water SCADA, and it is very delayed from the communications from having to reach out so far for all the other lift stations. So getting them off the water plant will speed up the water, it'll only help the water plant. So it's less money for more work. It may not be the Cadillac, but it's a good company, very well-known company, and they'll stand behind their work just like everybody else. So,
Well, the software and stuff that they're using is not
facility specific, where Leslie's was building that system that they quoted specific to our system. So if you kind of follow what I'm saying. One was system specific, the other one is used in many locations. They're new to Indiana, so there's only maybe 5 or 6 systems out here in the state of Indiana. And I think it'd be a good idea if we got with the vendor and went and looked at a couple of them before we gave them green flags. Tell them, yeah, you're approved now, we need, this is what we expect.
And I did speak, when I spoke with him, he said he was more than willing to come down, meet with all of you guys and do a tour and a walkthrough, kind of on, you know, which I know we did a tour not very long ago. So this is kind of, you know, show you physically what's what, where it's going, and what it does. So I'm perfectly fine with tabling it for a month if you want, and I can reach out to him and we can try to get a day set up and have everybody meet out there to do a walkthrough.
Can you come in and do a presentation on it with,
Yeah, he said he could come tonight, but I told him I was just gonna present it and kind of, you know, just to throw it out there. I honestly didn't expect it to.
why don't you get a schedule in, we can do a presentation off the TV screen up there and get a visual on it, even though we're still kind of looking, going forward with it, but.
I'll call him tomorrow and see what works with everybody's schedules. See if he can come in.
Definitely make you 100% on board with whatever he decides, so what do you guys think? Okay, well, let's get the ball moving and going.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
Mayor, before you close that, I was on the sidebar outside here when you guys were talking about the one-way street and stuff, and it's not only kind of decreasing some of the parking we were talking about, but stopping there on North Street instead of going up the wood. It's more of a traffic safety thing than it is anything else. We're trying to divert people from North Ninth Street coming south out on Wood Street, keep them from going out there on the east and west Main Street, which is one of the more dangerous intersections in Loogootee. That's part of the whole parking and public safety plan that we were talking about. So
yeah, and Dan and I had talked about this. It's one of those things too. I know with most areas, I know change isn't always liked by a lot of people. I understand that. That's going to take some time getting used to that. But I know for our area, you're going to look at anywhere from like 1 to 4 blocks typically is what the standard one-way street might be. But I think in the area right where we're talking about on North Line, I think you're going to see more struggle between just that small section of North Line. I think you're going to see more confusion, which is that first section in front of the businesses being a one-way instead of maybe allowing us to go all the way up to Wood Street. That's just my opinion from the public safety side of it. Not only you might have confusion as far as your parking, what part is going to be that one-way parking or what side is going to be where you start your two-way, not necessarily for law enforcement in the room, but more for, say, individuals just on the street, people that aren't from the community. If you extend that all the way to Wood Street, you still can do parallel parking on both sides of the street. You can do angled parking on one end, and you still have your lane of travel as well. So I still think you could have your effective business parking if you need to, but I think it would also help allow less confusion, less lane confusion with people that are coming through the town and just trying to operate on the day-to-day.
from a safety standpoint.
Yes.
And you know, when you close that off, you're going to lose probably about 1/5 of the parking you're looking to gain originally. So we're still looking for more parking for Dan's barbershop and all that stuff. So at least that's what they're always telling me. They're always having problems with parking out there with Healing Hands and Dan's parking lot or Dan's barbershop. So that end needs as much parking as everybody else. So.
I don't see how you lose any, to be honest with you.
I think if you allow your parking
there,
well, but if you go up to Wood Street, I mean, you still have if you do parallel parking on both sides, you still have the ability to go up on what would be the west or northwest side of North Line, even there by the playground next to the apartment building. So you still have that availability too, and you still have your lane of travel. It doesn't actually have to be a two-way.
You still have it now, though.
But I'm saying it would be less confusing. You could do even angled or parallel. You could do parallel on one side and angled on the other if you had to, and that would allow for more spots to come in too. Just an option, and I don't like you. I don't think you lose any of your spots.
It doesn't. You can leave it a two-way or make it a one-way. You're not going to gain any parking in those areas because 90% of that is an intersection that is very, very, very wide. The only parking you have there is on that west side of North Line Street that's gonna remain parallel parking regardless. So you're not gaining or losing anything by making it one or the
Plus your
other.
angle parking.
Well, what we can do at this point
Well, I
is,
think you're gonna shove a lot of traffic into Boston Street, which is more residential than business.
what we can do now is go with what the council has decided to do as far as the one way and see how that goes. If we need to tweak it or change it, we can take a look at it at that point. See how it goes and, see what the flow of traffic is, get everything restriped, set up, and go from there and we can monitor, police can give us if we have any accidents or issues there, you can get back with us and go from there. So, anything else? Ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Carol.
Second.
Second by Buck, all in favor.
Aye.
Don't forget to sign all the documentation.
Oh, yeah.